All right, so now we are at the book discussion portion of the podcast, and we are going to be talking about the book August. So, for those of us who are watching who have not read August and are interested in reading it, can you let us know a little bit about what the book is about and the main characters, Asia and August?
Okay, so August, his story actually starts in the book Kingston. He is the brother of Kingston, and he does some pretty crazy stuff in his brother's book that leads him down a dark path, um, which leads him down a path, an even deeper path of loss. So when we open in August, he is still heavily dealing with that loss, and he's going through a dark time in his life. He's, he doesn't feel worthy. He's depressed. He's, going through it emotionally. Um, so this story is really about redemption for him. And as for Asia, she's going through her own thing with her family dynamic and with her health. So they mutually meet due to one person, one center focus of the book,
Mm-hmm.
who is like the highlight for me for most of the book. So but it's about redemption and falling in love and knowing that you are worthy of it, and trusting and believing in new paths. That's what I would say. Um,
Okay.
that's what we get with August.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I want to tell you my thoughts, and I actually had to write them down so I didn't forget it.
Okay.
So forgive me if I read, but like I said, I didn't want to forget it. So
Right.
I finished the book um, very recently, so my thoughts
Mhm.
could be fresh.
Okay.
Okay. I felt as if this book was a book of healing and forgiveness. Both Asia and August had pasts that affected them well into adulthood, and they were able to start healing one another once their guards were down. I appreciated how August was gentle and affectionate with Asia and Mary, but stayed ready to be on 10 when needed. Um,
Very much so.
Yep, I liked seeing Asia's development on being closed off to affection and thinking she needed no one, to seeing how support and love made things easier and more fulfilled in her life. I understand that the character Nisha, is it Nisha or Nessa?
Yeah, Nisha.
Nessa, Nisha.
Hmm.
I
Nisha.
understand the character Nisha was a necessary character because we
Yeah.
had to have that.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel as if you made her the right amount of messy.
Yes.
She was the most, but she didn't do too much. She did
Right.
enough. She didn't go overboard.
Yeah.
I like the way you write family dynamics, and I like how you told a story within a story with Faith and Jericho. And overall, I enjoyed this read. And yeah, overall, I enjoyed the read. So that's my thoughts. I had to put that down for you, make sure I got it all out. So my first question is, and I think you just touched on it. Who is your favorite character to write in a book?
Mary. So that's how the book even started. I did not know how to start August's story. But Pastor James and Mary were the first two people that I thought of. But Mary's scenes were written first. Remember, I said I'll write out of order.
Mm,
And I just built around that. And I was like, the book actually, opened originally. When I say my rough drafts for August go crazy,
mm,
I started him over, I know the last time I counted 15 times because I just could
mm.
not get my opening. Like, I'm like, this gives dry. Like, it was just dry. Um, and then I remember, he's going to be talking to Pastor James throughout the book. I'm like, why don't you open it with him actually meeting him and expressing how he feels? So that's how I came up with the beginning. I went back and changed it, and it just kind of flowed from there. Those are my favorite two people in the book. The two of them. Mary is like my grandma. When
Oh,
my grandma
okay.
was alive, like my grandmother's Very much that old spirit, but a mouth that is about as young as we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
she just was really
Yeah.
wise, but very up to speed on a lot of things. So I love that about Mary. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What scene was your favorite to write in the book?
The scene where August is talking about him, they're sitting on the bed. This is her first time being in his house. This was after the block party.
Mm,
And she said to him, I noticed you didn't have any drinks and you
right.
didn't partake in anything that everybody else was doing. And he explains to her why. Like he had gone down such a dark path that he didn't want to retrace those footsteps. So he felt like feeling every ounce of the pain he felt, he didn't want to dim that with alcohol or anything else that would
Mm,
cause him to not fully understand what he was feeling. That would eventually make him return back to anything in his past that he felt like he needed to. So he told her, I just want to feel everything so that it makes me not want to go back to that, to do anything that has to do with, saying a bad thing. So
right.
um that was hard. That was very much I'm like, that's really deep to say, I'd rather feel the pain now than to have to experience any of the loss I experienced back then. So that's my favorite scene. Hmm. I have two favorite scenes though.
Okay.
The other scene is when he's in the barbershop talking to Faith when they're at the block party, and he's like, when she actually confronts her feelings for Jericho to
Mm,
him, and he's reassuring her that he's not going to allow this man to play with her.
yeah.
Like, we're going to do this together. Just the love and the bond they have for each other.
Yeah.
I I really love that. Yeah.
I
So
like I really did like their
yeah.
co-parenting relationship because
Yeah.
they looked out for one another. It
Mhm.
was no
Yeah.
animosity. It was
Right.
no, nothing like that. Like you were saying earlier, just because we're not together doesn't mean it has to be difficult. So
Right. Right.
yeah, I like their
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
So my next question is, when you read your book back, did you have any LOL moments? Because I had a couple. I can only think of one. The you tell me yours if you had one.
So the funniest part was when he initially met Mary, and she says how she was saying to Katrina, take your demons with you when you leave. And I just think every scene,
Yeah, she yeah, that was a good one.
Hold on, what?
I'm like, this lady is hilarious. And she was like, I smell fire and brimstone. Like
Yeah,
something she said. I
that
was
was
like,
funny. That was funny. Sir.
so
Sir.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I just had to chime in at that. Take your
Okay.
demons with you. That's dope.
You had yeah. That was funny. That was funny.
She
I
is
might have to
crazy.
use that one.
You know what I thought was funny? I believe the gentleman's name was Harold, who was in the nursing
Mhm.
home.
Yes.
When August said, you know what I'm about to say, don't you?
He said it's gonna take him all year to get back up the rest of the year. He said I would push him down, but it's gonna take him the rest of the year to get back up.
Yes, that part had me in tears. I'm like, what? Okay, you gotta say it
Oh, God.
without laughing so people can actually hear what we say. So
So
go ahead.
Harold is a little old man in a nursing home. And honestly, I know somebody who walks just like this. So that's why it was even funnier when I wrote it. But the little man would just walk real slow, and he was on his cane, and he's going back and forth with Mary, and finally August intervenes, and he's like, get on somewhere. And he says, I would go push him down, but it'll take him all year to get back up. It'll take him the rest of the year to get back up. I
my gosh. Oh my
knowing I
gosh.
know the person who I had in mind is a real life person who walks just like that, who talks just like that, who
Oh my
acts
God.
just like that. And all I could think of is, oh my goodness. You
That
know,
had me in tears. That had me in tears because it was so unexpected. I'm like, what? That was good. That was
he
good.
is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. In the book, the main character, Asia, she deals with her own, she deals with a
Mhm.
major health issue,
Mhm.
family issues,
Right.
and intimacy issues. So when
Mhm.
you're writing your characters through these issues they're
Mhm.
overcoming, do you feel like you're healing parts of yourself as well?
The way Asia's story is mine is is hilarious to me. I knew parts of her were going to be my story because I wanted to give her something that was actually that's something that she could actually overcome. So the whole tumor on her brain and things like that, this is actual stuff I went through. These are actual things talked to with my doctor. These are actual things that
Mm,
have happened. So that's why I was able to give her that story. Um, and and what transpired afterwards. These are things that happen. Now, of course, it's embellished, but for the most part, it's literally some of the same conversations I had with through my own journey.
mm.
Um, and this being an adult now, like being 40 now, and realizing that I didn't realize that I wasn't raised to be affectionate. Like I wasn't like I only know that now because I have my own children, and I see why I so easily accept men who are not affectionate because I'm not. I wasn't.
Mm.
You know, so it's like, but I wasn't raised that way. I only know now because I have my own kids, and it's like I get myself out of that mode. Like, oh no, you know, let them know it's okay to hug. Let them know it's okay to say I love you. Let them know all these things that I didn't realize till later in life that I never. Now, mind you, my mom was very present, very, very much a loving mother.
Right.
I know that now as an adult, there were things that I didn't know I didn't have. And that's why I was able to give her that story. So yeah, I definitely healed some parts of me a lot.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. You already touched on August's character and him feeling, guilt and over his past. Why did you feel it was important to show that vulnerable side of him?
Okay, so most of the readers who read Kingston did not care to read about August.
Mm.
I had plenty of DMs like, I don't want no story about him, girl. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna redeem him. Just trust me, just trust me. August I had to make him a real man who understands the necessity of emotional intelligence. It doesn't mean you're weak. It does not mean that you're not a man. It just means you're comfortable enough expressing your emotions and how you feel, because that's the only way you're going to get over these things. And I think that's what readers who did turn out to read his story, who initially didn't want it, that's what made them love him, because he allowed me to make him vulnerable, because I wanted to make him a gangster. He told me no. So I wanted to have him acting the fool the whole book, and he said, no, this is what I want. This is how we're going to do this. And which is why I started over like 15 times. Everything I wanted to do for the book never made it in the book. So, yeah. But now they love him because I let him be vulnerable. Like, yeah, I think that was needed for a redemption story.
Yeah, they have to be. Yeah.
I would think that, and I think you have to actually deal with the person in real life who's narcissistic and plays the victim to understand why I couldn't allow him to play the victim in the book. Like, he had to own every single thing he did. because I would have been turned off immediately if I would have saw him blaming anybody else. I would have, I would have, as a reader, I would have been like, nah, he over here being narcissistic. I would have, because but that's, again, when you deal with one, you realize, okay, no, I ain't gonna deal with that. And I want to read about it. You take accountability and move on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, yeah, you humanized him.
Yeah.
Okay. And one last question before we get to the reading of the excerpts. Now, now, Miss Ma'am.
Yeah.
So as I'm reading the book, I noticed that there was one term or one word that kept popping up in the dialogue with the characters in many different variations.
Yes.
So my question is, do you by chance have a favorite cuss word to use when you're writing?
I do.
Would you mind sharing that with the people?
So I'm from Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's either I rarely hear people use, I don't know, I rarely hear people say anything the correct way, right? Mm-hmm. So when he says mother or or like, it's just funny because I write it exactly how I hear it, like how it's said.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's my favorite for them.
It for sure was, because everybody and everything was one. I could tell there was a different type of one. It was spelled differently. I heard it with a different emphasis each time. I was like, gracious goodness, like, girl.
Yes, girl, look.
But let me tell you something. I like that too, because we was talking about the crazy and sweet.
Right.
I like
equal
that too. Yeah, equal parts, man. Equal parts. All right. So now I have established that is your favorite cuss word. I didn't want to assume, but I'm just saying that
it is
sprinkled quite heavily.
It's mm-hmm. That is.
Shout out to the diversity of mud.
Thank you.
All right, so that was my last.
Yeah, we're gonna mess around and be on Gray. Come on, I'm ready to hear.
Let's see what he got. Okay, now that we have discussed the book August, I have invited on who I'm calling my resident narrator to excerpt not one, but two.
Oh yeah.
Yes, two excerpts from two of Monique's best-selling number one best-selling books on Amazon, right? Yes. So I'll get into your bio.
Okay.
And then we'll get right into the reading. Okay. So Mr. Edwin, and thank you for the bio, Mr. Edwin.
Not a problem.
Mm-hmm. A narrator of numerous urban thriller, urban romance, and paranormal romance novels, E. Kojo Andrews is an avid reader and vivid storyteller. Originally from Detroit and currently residing in the surrounding area, his worldview was shaped by his time at Howard University and the Washington area. In his spare time, he enjoys writing code for freelance projects, singing at karaoke incredibly well, and mutually harassing his friends' cats. Why'd you make me read that?
That's my bio, man. That's what I do.
When I saw that, right till I got to that point, I'm like, okay, and I was like, I'm really gonna have to read that. You a mess.
I never said I wasn't. I never advertised.
Oh, I know that you are. From day the first, I knew it. Okay, so now that we have introduced Edwin, we are going to have the first reading, first excerpt read from the book August. And this excerpt we're getting ready to hear is when August and Asia finally come together and decide they want to be a couple, and August lets his guard down. So go ahead and take it away when you're ready.
All right. I needed to look into her eyes, so I removed her glasses, pushing them to sit atop her head. Tilting her chin up, I kissed the corner of her parted lips. I'm not good at losing people, Asia. Neither am I good about letting anyone in. Now that you're in, you can imagine how serious I am about us. You belong to me. Your heartbeats, I own every one of those motherfuckers. I promise to protect every single one of those motherfuckers. All I ask is that you protect mine too. Surely I sounded like a fucking maniac. We'd only been a couple for a few hours. What if there's more to me than just what you see? Are you prepared to handle that? Rubbing my finger across her lip, I countered. Are you prepared for my bad? Are you prepared for what it is you don't see? Slowly, she blinked. Can we trust each other? I questioned. She nodded as she placed her glasses back over her eyes. Speak, little baby. Yes, I can trust you. I trust you. Leaning down, I took her lips, needing to seal our declaration with the only thing more binding than words. Once I joined our bodies, there was nothing going to stop me from making sure this bond was never broken. Ta-da.
Yes, yes, yes. You on mute, mamas.
Listen,
that was awesome.
That was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was great. I'm floored. That was great.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you liked it. I'm so glad you like it. Okay. Well done. Well done. And before we end this book discussion, I thought it would be very fitting to show appreciation to your book, Blue, which is not only, like I said, one of your #1 bestsellers, but like I said earlier, the very first title I read from you. So in this part, Mr. Edwin is going to read an excerpt. Oh, I didn't even put the excerpt, the description of the excerpt. Hold on. It is when, ooh.
Jacoba, is it Jacoba or Jacoba?
It's Jacoba.
Jacoba, okay. Because I know in one excerpt, he pronounced it the other way. Is that right?
He calls her Jacoba, but her name is Jacoba, yes.
Yeah, she's in bed having a nightmare.
When you're ready,
All right. Jacoba's cries woke me up a couple of hours later. The room was dark, save the hand of light streaking through the curtains. Jacoba thrashed, crying out in her sleep. She was having a nightmare, most likely after the bullshit from last night. Throwing back the covers, I dismissed the fact that I only had on joggers when I went to her side. She whimpered as she begged for someone to help her. Miss Christmas. I lightly tapped her shoulder to wake her. When she continued to thrash and her cries became louder, I swooped her up out of the bed. Holding her body in my arms was heart-stopping. She felt perfect. I carried her to the bathroom, flicked the lights on, then set her atop the counter. Sweat soaked her night clothes, her neck, and face. Running in sink water, I filled my palm with the warm liquid, then ran it down her face. Miss Christmas, I drawled as she cried. Her eyes fluttered open and connected with mine. Blue, she sniffled. You're safe, I assured her. Her arms fell around my neck as she dropped her head and cried. Briefly stepping away, I fetched a towel, washcloth, and bar of soap. I also retrieved the black tea that I'd had on before going to sleep. Shh, I soothed when I was back in front of her, standing between her parted thighs. She was still crying. The heavy drops took residence in my heart. I soaked and soaped the washcloth, then gently removed her shirt. I kept eye contact with her as I ran the warm washcloth over her sweaty flesh. I watched her eyes dilate, but didn't show the slightest emotion as I did the same thing to her thighs. I dried her off, then covered her with my t shirt. It fit her like an oversized dress, but she was still beautiful. Lastly, I wiped her tears. Although she'd calmed down, the tears still flowed. What if you weren't there? She whispered. But I was, I countered, catching a few more tears. I don't want to die without living my life, Blue, she confessed. I'm scared that Romeo is behind this. He's threatened me before. She broke down again, laying her head on my chest as she did so. Once her tears touched the skin of my chest, they became a part of me. I felt some type of way that I couldn't explain. I'd already given a statement to the police, and my first thought was to have Romeo questioned. He was the likely person to come after Jacoba, seeming as he thought she set him up months ago. The police will figure it out. At least, I hope so. You trust the police? She questioned with a sniffle. I almost chuckled. I trust that if they up, I know how to handle it. There you go.
Okay. Alrighty.
That was great.
That was
That was superb.
Oh, superb.
Superb. Hey, I'll take that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel great to hear your words like that?
I'm over here like, oh, just amazed. Like, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Like,
Well,
I'm gonna be
good.
thinking about this all day.
Well, I'm really glad
I
that
appreciate this. I appreciate this so much. Like, I don't know what made you incorporate that, but I appreciate that.
to top off the podcast, I always like to play a game.
Okay.
Now I told you at the top that I'll give you a choice of 2 games to play.
All right.
It depends on what you feel like you'll be
Okay.
better at.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the first game, this is the OG, Urban Trivia.
Okay.
It is Black movies, Black shows, Black culture, music, all this.
Okay.
That's the first one. The second one that I just got that I've been having a lot of fun with this one.
Okay.
Is Lyrically Correct. It is music trivia game from the 90s and 2000s, hip hop and R&B.
Let's do music.
Let's do that. All right.
Oh my God. Okay, let's do it.
You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun. Let's see if you can get 3 of them.
Okay.
Let's just start there. Let's just start there.
Cool.
All right.
Oh Lord.
And if she doesn't get it, Edwin, I'll be nice today and I'll allow you to participate today.
Ooh, okay.
You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to be a conscientious observer. I'm going to answer, but this doesn't count to my actual record.
You know what? When I say me and him have a history with games, so we ain't even gonna do all that. And Monique, just know that me allowing him is
completely understood.
All right.
Nah, man, like okay. I've successfully defended my crown at urban trivia, even though my knowledge of urban trivia is lacking. But like I don't think it's fair because I'm a music aficionado, so I'm going to beast at
I'm
this.
not quite.
So yeah, I'm not.
I know a lot of music, but I think let's see how I do.
These are popular songs. So
okay.
Okay. Here's the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know the Kiki Wyatt and Avant song? Okay. Kiki Wyatt can picture her and Avant in the living room next to what? Can picture us in the living room by the.
I know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that word is. Maybe I just don't feel it right.
Do you know it, Edwin?
I actually don't.
It's mantelpiece.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know the word. That's what I like.
The mantelpiece.
Okay.
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
How about this one? Let's try this. No. Hold on. Okay, here we go. DMX dated 3 girls with this name. Was it A, Brenda, B, Letitia, C, Nikki, or D, Kim?
About 3 Kims.
What? Yeah. So that one, there's one. Let's get 2 more. Let me see.
Man, the song's about to be stuck in my head now.
Okay. In the song Baby, Ashanti says his kisses make her lips quiver. And when he touches her, what happens?
Her whole body shivers.
Yes, ma'am. That's two. Okay. All right. The third one. When did Genuine realize his whole life has changed?
Since you came in.
Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, you got a rhythm. You got a rhythm now. Let's try 2 more.
Go for it.
Okay. How do Juvenile and Soulja Slim want her to move?
Slow motion. Yeah.
Yep. Slow motion.
I'm a Juvenile now. Juvenile Wayne and Jeezy.
Okay.
I'm a great. Yeah. Them my people.
I like it like that. I'm sorry.
All right. If someone is knucking and bucking, what are they ready to do?
Oh,
fight.
And ready to fight.
Dang, girl, you see?
I like that game.
Jeez. Let me hit you with one bonus one. Let me just pull one.
Let's do it.
Let's pull one. Let me see.
No.
Oh, that one's too easy. Okay. What does T.I. have the crowd yelling?
Bring them out. Is that
yes,
it?
Girl. Yeah, that's it.
Bring 'em out.
All right, so that is the end of the game. So the game is called Lyrically Correct. Here is the box. I've been having a lot of fun with this. So that is it. So this is the end of the podcast. I want to thank you all for joining in today and watching the interview with M. Monique, and thank you, Edwin, for joining in. Miss M. Monique, do you have anything that you would like to say before we close out?
I just want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for the time. It was very engaging. I love this. It was awesome. So yeah, I love everything about what you're doing. It was great. I have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have an open invitation.
Thank you, Edwin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Glad to participate.
I'm sorry, what you say, Edwin?
I said I'm glad to participate.
I'm glad that you always say yes. I really appreciate it. So you have an open invitation to come back whenever you want. You have a new project coming. You want to talk about something, hit me up. I'm here and I'll be happy to have you back. So we're going to go ahead and close out and say bye to everybody. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
All right. For the promo drop, you could just say your name. I'm author M. Monique. You can watch my episode of the Mic'd Up podcast dropping this Friday at 10 or however you need to say it. Okay. Those are like the touch points.
Hey everybody, this is M. Monique. Be sure to watch my episode of
Girl,
Mic'd Up Podcast.
Mic'd Up Podcast.
Yes, okay. It's the Mic'd Up Podcast. You could say, be sure to watch my episode.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
There you go.
Girl, I forget. Mic'd Up Podcast. Okay, hold on.
You got it.
Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Happy Lord's Day, good people. Shout out to Busting It Wide Open, the catalog, I mean.
What?
Okay.
See, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Thank you for doing that. Code one poem. Are you okay?
I'm
Well,
fine.
oh,
You're laughing.
Mhm.
The narrator of numerous.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm for real. I'm ready.
All right.
Under control.